I said I was going to replace my counterfeit EDC pouch, so I went a little overboard. Not only did I replace that key pouch, but I also designed this modular tool rack to organize my Tier 3 EDC items. I do recommend watching my last EDC video before watching this one so that you don't leave stupid comments like, oh, why would any man carry a nail clipper? But you know what? You do you, okay? Just comment with respect to others' lifestyle. With that said, in this video, I will first introduce the items in my Tier 3 EDC, mainly here, including some changes I made from my last iteration and my thoughts about a couple new items that I purchased. Then I will show you how my EDC rack works, including a little bit of the design process. I will be rambling, so skip as you want. The timestamps are below. If they are not here, sometimes YouTube is weird, you can find them in the description. All right, this will be very fun. Let's start. These items are the same ones I've been carrying for years. The InCharge X 16-1 cable for emergency charging and data transferring. The Moft MagSafe power bank for that emergency power. The Big Idea Design Pocket Pro is my favorite EDC pen that I've been using for almost a decade. 2 band-aids for small wounds and my girlfriend's heels. A lip balm for a better sex life, I guess. I'm using it right now because after you talk a lot, your lips become very dry and they stick to each other. A microfiber wiper for my glasses and a small pack of napkin. These 3 items have been replaced by these 3. The Leatherman style PS has been one of my most used small tools for more than a decade. I absolutely adore this multi-tool. You can watch this video in which I show you how useful this little thing is. Sadly though, this style PS is discontinued, which means it will be harder and harder to get a new copy of it. I've replaced this tool 3 times because either I lost it or the airport security confiscated it. Although this is TSA compliance, you know, security guards, they are stupid. I certainly don't want to lose this one, so I decided to keep this copy in my drawer and put something less sentimentally valuable to me in my EDC pouch. And you probably know which that something is. It is the Nultitool Mini Sailor Lite. I believe this is the plier-based mini multi-tool you should get for travel in 2025. Because just like the Leatherman style PS, it does not have a blade. Does that guarantee a safe pass through the airport security? No, I can't guarantee that because some security guards don't understand their own rules. But at least this Mini Sailor Lite can be easily replaced for, I think, $22 on Amazon, unlike the discontinued Leatherman PS. These are the tools in the Mini Sailor Lite. A spring-loaded plier which opens up decently wide and looks pretty strong. I don't do anything I shouldn't do with this small plier, so I'm not saying it's gonna replace, you know, a full-size Leatherman, but it's very useful for day-to-day life. A pair of scissors that cuts pretty well, but I don't like how it folds up compared to the Leatherman style PS. A flathead screwdriver / prying tool, which the Leatherman style PS doesn't have, and a bottle opener, of course. A Phillips screwdriver that's beefier than the style PS but much shorter. A SIM card removal tool, which is really handy for international travelers. And a glow-in-the-dark insert right here, which is kind of the shit I love. What the style PS has but the Mini Sailor Lite does not is a pair of tweezers. So I'm including a pair of titanium tweezers in the kit. Where do I need tweezers for, you ask? Pulling off dangling strings on 3D printed parts? Of course. Duh. Size comparison. The Nultitool Mini Sailor Lite is wider, thicker, but shorter than the style PS. It's also heavier but not very noticeable on such a small item. I prefer the size of the style PS but the sticker next tool is more comfortable to grip onto, especially when using the pliers. So mostly, I'm pretty happy with the next tool Mini Sailor Lite as the Leatherman style PS replacement, except one design flaw. You are going to call me crazy, but no, I cannot unsee this. Be warned, this is the part you should skip if you value your time, okay? Here. Look closely right here at these cutouts. Do you see what I'm seeing? These cutouts on the scales do not match the cutouts on the liners, which is the metal layer that's underneath the scales. These slots on the scales are just aesthetic, which I have nothing against, but on the liners, they simply drilled a couple holes for weight saving. The consequence is that this visual element, which could have been pretty pleasing, now looks like a mess. On the style PS, because every layer is in different shape, they couldn't use the same pattern for every layer, but wherever they can, they tried to match the holes. So here you can see the 4 holes on the scales matches the 4 holes underneath. The smaller an item is, the closer people will look at it, and that's when these details really matter. Okay, I went a little too far. I think next tool has addressed this design flaw by deleting the liners on their updated Mini Sailor, I think it's called S11 Pro, the Pro model with the blade and I think a file. They haven't updated the Mini Sailor Lite, but I sure hope they do. Meanwhile, this is still a solid tool for $22. That's why I also replaced my nail clipper, this Doll Victorinox nail clipper, with one from next tool. As a nail clipper, this is so much better than that Victorinox. It is sharper and more stable to hold because I can wrap 3 fingers on the scale and it won't flex. This is the most maneuverable nail clipper I have ever used, even compared to those full-size ones. Additionally, there is a package opener that should be TSA compliant. Don't quote me on that. Okay, the bad. I'm just sorry next tool, but I think you should really pay more attention to details. Here, why isn't there a nail groove on the scale? You even did it on the liner, right? Why don't you do it on the scale? I don't use this package opener enough to really care about it, but just why? Why? Detail, man. Detail. Okay, let's move on. I'm adding 2 backup SD cards, 1 TF card, and a card reader to my carry. Also, this Allen wrench for camera Akar Swiss plates. I'm a cameraman, so it's irresponsible that I didn't include these items in my previous EDC. And now we can talk about, where is it? The pouch. This pouch. Well, there isn't much to talk about. It's a very simple canvas pouch with a leather belt loop. This is a brass keyring from M&U CO, which costed me $35 because made in USA. Yeah, I put here so that I don't remember why I put it here. The meat and potato, the rack. I designed this system to carry all of my Tier 3 EDC items as one single unit. What I found was most of these items are long and stubby. So if long and stubby, that doesn't make sense. If I lay these items flat on the desk, they can be sorted in 2 groups. So I made 2 pieces to hold each group of items. This design is heavily inspired by two products. The first is I think it's called the EDC rack, pocket rack from Earthling EDC. I'm linking his channel in the description. The second is this tool roll from ROM. You can find the detail of this product in this video. Not available outside of China yet because it's a very small maker and he is struggling to meet the demand domestically in China. So we will see. I will give you updates on that product. I know a lot of people want it. Back to my rack. There are mainly three pieces. The first piece is the top layer where all the stubby items sit. I went fancy with carbon fiber, but it is totally 3D printable. The second layer, which is this white piece, this is a little hard to describe. Basically, I cut 7 brass rods into the same length. This rod is just leftover material from my custom Swiss Army knife project. These rods are pressed into these slots and there are notches to keep them from falling out. On each corner, there is a heat-set M3 screw insert. Now let me show you how to assemble this.
Han, why do you like to make everything so complicated?
It's not that complicated. Digging into a pouch with just everything readily scattered around is way more complicated than this.
No, dude, you should stop being that artifact fetish, playing with your little toys. Go outside, play some tennis, frisbee. Do what a
That's
normal
what a
person
chihuahua do. Frisbee my ass. First, screw down 3 corners loosely. Take this strip of elastic band that is the same width as these slots on the top layer and tighten this screw. Instead of another screw, I'm adding a shackle here to hang items that are in some irregular shape. There is also a spacer to keep the shackle from rattling. Next, I roughly lay out everything I want to put here in the order I want. Most of the items take up 1 grid, except the next to Mini Sailor Light, which takes up 2 grids. So that's how I'm going to thread the band. Take the loose end of the band, push it into the slot, wrap it around the rod and push it through the same slot from the other side. Very quick and easy. Do this multiple times until the band comes out of the other side of the board. Now it's time to cinch. Start from the side where the band is not loose. Put the first item in and cinch. Put the second item in and cinch. Do the same to every item until they are held in place tight and secure. Last step. Get a flat and thin object such as this prying tool. Use it to guide the band into this cutout. Without a tool like this, the band can be caught onto these teeth, which are meant to bite the band down so that they don't come loose. Well, here is a perfect place for those very thin, slim objects, such as this pair of tweezers. Now, I can really cinch the band and tighten the 2 screws on this end. I didn't cut off the extra band just so that I have the flexibility of adding bigger objects. The extra band can go underneath this rod as well as 2 band-aids. Yes, this is the space for my precious band-aids. So this is the main part of this EDC organizer. The other part of the system is what I call the modular panel. For this version, which is for my personal Tier 3 EDC, I just made a module for all the other items I like to carry. The SD cards are stored inside in their dedicated spots. The pen is held with a pen holder. To keep the outside clean and flat, I hit this sticky pad thing on the inner side. The elastic loop comes out through this cutout. The pen securely stores itself here. The mocked MagSafe power bank is, of course, held with magnets. I tried to insert the magnets, but 3D printed parts really don't like overhangs. If this is a production piece, I won't allow this to happen, but this is not, so I will give myself a pass. Finally, I hammered 8 magnets into both the modular panel and the main rack. The trick is to hammer on a screw bit that's larger in diameter than the magnet. This way, the magnets will be perfectly flush to the surface. The magnets I used are tiny. They are not strong enough to hold the weight of the main rack when it's fully loaded, but it is able to hold the modular panel. I'm okay with it for now. Now, I kept saying modular panel, but where are the other modules? Well, the first module I'm designing is for the Leatherman bit kit. I'm still working on it, as well as a module to store a Knipex Cobra. Alright, this is my Tier 3 EDC pouch. The entire rack snugly fits inside this pouch with just enough space for the other shit. Oh, I forgot about this thing, did I? Can you guess what this is? I will give you 5 seconds. Okay, time's up. This is an itch relief. Can I demonstrate this? It plugs into a Type-C port with power, such as this power bank, or if you have a phone with Type-C port, it also works. And after it's plugged in, if I press on it, you can see it turns red. Can you see this? See this? And you just press this onto a mosquito bite for like 5 seconds, and it will stop the itchiness. In my experience, the mosquito bite will actually disappear. Amazing stuff. Link in the description. Not the exact same one, because I couldn't find it on Amazon, but I found another one. It's just the same function, but in different shape. Alright, that's it for this video. Leave your thoughts in the comment. We'd love to know what you guys think about this design. And otherwise, thanks for watching. I will stop talking.